Baker Mayfield, last night, it was downright ugly.
Poop fest.
It was downright ugly. As you would say, Rob Parker, Baker Mayfield struggled.
Struggling.
He was.
And, I mean, I know he doesn't get protection. I know the offensive line is weak. But he is not doing himself any favors either. He was 8 for 22. 8 for 22 in today's NFL, Rob.
Which is unbelievable, to be honest. I can't even. When I saw the numbers for 100 yards, right?
100 yards, 8 for 20.
Wow.
A 13.4 passer rating. And he hadn't been much better all year long. Everybody's talked about the offensive line and so on and so forth. But he has been a big problem. He actually is only completing 55.9, so 56% of his passes for the season, Rob.
That's what I was just about to say. That's the number, Chris, that should bother you. Do you know what I mean?
Doubt.
When you look at all the other numbers, maybe touchdowns are low or whatever, but the number,
yeah, he's only got 4 of those, and he's got 8 picks.
Right.
Twice as many picks as touchdowns.
We're into 5 games. They got OBJ, right? Landry. Chris, do you remember?
Nick Chubb.
Who said it was going to be a video game? It wasn't going to be fair.
Right.
That's what
That's
I was
right.
right.
That was a direct quote. People going to think we're cheating.
Right. Our offense will be so good.
I think you're cheating. You're cheating the Browns fans.
I know Browns fans cannot believe it. Like, we finally got a team. We finally made a trade for a big superstar. We got everything.
Sir,
right? Those 7 wins last year, Chris, this was the reason why I couldn't pick them to make the playoffs. Too many moving pieces. I don't know for sure. Rookie head coach. I don't know. They won 7 games last year, but only 1 game against a team that finished over 500, and that was Baltimore. And I told you, they won that game 12-9. That was the game that Flacco lost his job over.
Well, they're lucky they're in the division area in the AFC North because it's weak this year. Cincinnati's atrocious. Pittsburgh is not even mediocre. They're below average. The Ravens are what? Okay. You know, after that glorious start, and you've said it with other teams, they start off trouncing Miami.
Right.
Congratulations. And then I can't remember who they played in the second game, but they've come back to earth, and certainly Lamar Jackson has as well.
He's been bad too. Last couple games.
So they got a shot in that division. I picked them as a wild card. I still think they have a shot to make the playoffs.
But
they may have to win that division to get there. No, you made good points. But Baker Mayfield, Rob, there's 32 teams in the NFL. Guess where he ranks in QBR?
Out of 32, I'll say 30.
33.
Wow. What? 33?
There's a backup with better, all these injuries.
Right.
You got some
Are
backups
you serious?
in there. Yeah. 33.4 is his QBR. So, and here's the thing, Rob. The reason we're highlighting this, I mean, heck, let's keep it real. Daniel Jones hasn't lit the world on fire the last few weeks, but nobody's focused on that.
Nope.
Right?
And that's what happens. This is the stuff we talk about all the time. Depends on who you play. They start getting a little tape on you, figure out stuff. And it happens to everybody, Chris. It happens to everybody.
Right. And you know what I think it is that makes us focus on Baker? And look, I've said, if you want to be outspoken, if you want to talk trash, and if you want to go back at every critic that says something about you, fine, do it. Nobody said that can't work. But when you do that, you better back it up.
100%.
And Baker Mayfield is obviously not backing it up. And so now you got Richard Sherman coming out, talk last night. I mean, Richard Sherman apparently made up a reason to dislike Baker. Because he said Baker didn't shake his hand at the beginning of the game. And then there's video came out that Baker did shake his hand.
No, but I guess I heard Doug, and somebody can correct me, Gottlieb. He said there was another handshake. Lee, did you hear that? Oh, okay. So there's a 2, Chris. So there was another one that was based off of, like before that. Like, or they came at the coin toss. So people are showing that video saying he's lying, but there was the one previous to that or something, or after that. There was an official, right, where they do the coin toss. That's where he didn't shake his hand. So he didn't make it up.
Okay.
Because I know, I got you.
Do we have sound of that? Okay, but he said some real harsh, pointed stuff.
Right, about him.
And then Nick Bosa, who I believe we did our preseason picks. I believe he was my pick for Rookie of the Year. And obviously I'm feling good about that. He is a man-child.
You should.
But, I mean, he was just all over the place last night, had a couple sacks. But you see he did the flag plant.
Yes, he did.
Yes, and he said, that Baker had that coming because remember, Bosa was on that team at Ohio State.
When he did it.
Right. When Baker was at Oklahoma and did it. So this is, like I said, Rob, I don't mind you talking, but you better back it up. Muhammad Ali talked a lot of trash.
Yep.
But he backed it up. Baker Mayfield is not backing it up, and that is why he's getting ripped. And teams are going after them. Teams are treating them like they won the Super Bowl last year. They're a big game. Nobody's going to take them lightly.
And that's the part that we talked about, that last year was different. Oh, it's the Browns. You know what I mean? You still don't take them seriously, even though you saw the roster and they had some good players. But all of a sudden, when you start talking about, oh, yeah, they're going to win the division, they're going to the Super Bowl, all the other talk, that's a big game. People don't come in and say, oh, it's just the Browns. We'll just take them lightly and think we'll win. No. The last thing you want to do is have those guys win. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's totally different, and every game is a big game.
Other thing is, as bad as Baker's been, OBJ. And I know it's hard to look good when your quarterback is completing 56% of his passes.
And he thought Eli Manning was the problem, huh?
Well, if this continues, are we going to hear something out of OBJ? Is he going to get fed up with this? But here's the thing. OBJ dropped a pass yesterday. Hit him in the hands, 2 hands. He makes the one-handers, but he drops some two-handers.
Yeah, maybe there's not enough glue on those gloves.
Right. Then he had the fumble of the punt return. It was inconsequential because the game was over by that point.
But he still did it. Yep.
Right. Like, OBJ is not looking good either. And the Browns, I don't know if I said this to you. I did say it to you yesterday, Rob. They just strike me as a team that is so immature that after playing a few good games, I think they won 2 out of 3. The loss was to the Rams, and they looked good in that one, almost won that one. That I think they probably started feeling like we're there. All right, this is what we were talking about. Right?
Right.
They beat the Ravens. Yeah, now people know. Now people know what we are. They started feeling themselves, and they got smacked right back to the ground. So I just think even if they do have a good couple of good wins, and look, let's face it, they got Seattle and the Patriots coming up.
Wow.
So probably losing their next 2.
Right, and they're going to be in trouble. That's the problem unless they can turn it around, Chris. But I'm not, like I said to you, not totally shocked. I'm not. I thought that it was just way, way too much given to a team that hadn't done anything last year in beating, sub 500 teams, and then all the pressure and talk, and you said it, all of that stuff riles up other teams.
Yep.
That makes them say, what? What if they won that they're talking and flapping the gums, telling everybody how great they are and what's going on? And all of a sudden, what did they get, Chris? 4 national TV games. How'd the Browns get 4 national TV games?
Right.
Off of the hype.
That's real.
Off of the hype.
Here's what Richard Sherman said after last night's game. He had an interception, by the way. He's actually looking really good for them. And people thought he was old and washed up. Obviously, Seattle did. He's playing well. He said what's amazing and annoying was him being Baker, not shaking hands at the beginning. That's some college-ish. It's ridiculous. We're all trying to get psyched up, but shaking hands with your opponent, that's NFL etiquette. And when you pull Bush League stuff, that's disrespectful to the game. And believe me, that's going to get us fired up. So Sherman was very upset, said he didn't respect the game. He said, respect the game. You can have rivals, but pay your respect in that moment, especially when you're young. He hasn't earned anything in this league. How many games has he won? He's acting like he was the MVP last year. If Mahomes did that, Patrick Mahomes, it would be one thing, but he would never do that because he has too much respect for the game. And when you see a guy who doesn't, you humble him every chance you get.
Yes.
Because eventually he will have respect for the game or he'll be out of it. Strong words by Richard Sherman.
And he's spot on, Chris. He's
right.
Spot on. That's right. You try to humble a guy like that. What? What have you done? You know how many people, blood, sweat, and tears in this league? You just got here. You barely had a cup of coffee.
You didn't even have time for the sweet roll.
Exactly. I knew that was.
But I see, and here's the thing, Rob. I'm not alone. I see Baker on more commercials than Tom Brady, than Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they've had their day, you know, when they were. But I see him. Is that progressive or that he's always on commercials?
And he's on
cutting the grass
at the
and
some other stuff. Yep.
Hosting the party at the state, like, you know. It's Baker this, Baker that, and good for him. That's what talking will do too. It'll get you some of that stuff. But if you don't deliver, it's going to be a hard crash landing back to earth. And that's what Baker's suffering right now.
No doubt. And you become a target. And I think that's the part. They're targets. And they haven't been able to respond. And you don't notice too, a first-year coach, and you said it earlier.
Freddie's looking over his
his head. Everybody, Chris, you could be a great coordinator, a great coach, right? But head coach is different. It's different. Yeah. Everybody can't be a head coach.
Because here's the thing. Can you, and I don't know Freddie Kitchens from Adam. You know, I
don't know Freddie Kitchen from Freddie Bathroom. Do you know what I'm saying?
But anyway, I can't picture him, Rob, dressing down those superstars or those stars, those celebrities. I'm not even going to call them superstars. I can't see him dressing down OBJ. That's why OBJ was wearing a watch, for goodness sake, in 2 of the games. I can't see him dressing down Baker. And that's what's needed. He's better get it together.
Yes, sir,
it's going to be a long 10 weeks or 11 weeks.
If they lose those 2 games, Chris, right? What are the next 2 you just said?
They're 2-3. They would be 2-5. I don't think they'd be out of it, Rob. Just because, again, the division is weak. They beat Baltimore.
I got you. But you know what? When I made my picks,
they're going to have to probably win the division.
When I made my picks, I had Baltimore winning the division, and I had, you remember, Pittsburgh and the Browns out. I had both of them out. So you're right. I think you're right that they would probably have to win that division.
Buffalo's playing like, you know, they could be a wild card if they can keep it up.
Buffalo is good, and they got defense.
Good. They are good. Yep, surprisingly. All right, your turn to weigh in. This will be a Rob Parker special. Is Baker Mayfield filet mignon or baloney? Do you believe he's ever going to turn it around and be the star quarterback that he's been projected to be? Your turn to weigh in.
All right, let's kick it off with Nick in New York. You're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, guys. Always want to give you compliments when I say this show just flows, and that's what makes it the best.
Man, thank you.
Man.
Seriously,
no problem.
Nick.
That honestly, that's hard to do and talk radio, but you two do it.
Thank you.
I'm just going to say baloney, but I'm going to say, has there ever been any athlete in any sport has come in with like this much of hype up where they've not produced? And I don't know if it's just Baker, but I can't think of one where there's so much that we're expecting, and then you put all this talent around him, and nothing produces. And I'd like to hear if you guys, off the top of your head, if you can think of one. I don't think you can.
Yeah. I mean, there have been busts, you know, beyond Baker Mayfield. RG3. Now, he had the one good year where he
his
really
rookie
earned
year, he was
that.
unbelievable.
Right.
You remember they won their last 7 games or something?
Yep, but it went way overboard. Remember, he got hurt, and then there was like the 2-day documentary ESPN did on him.
Oh, they went.
I guess come back. It went overboard, and obviously
remember
Greg
that.
Oden was hurt. But yeah, you've had busts before. There's no question about it. But right now, I mean, Baker, and I don't know. We'll ask Mark Schlereth. Does he see anything that makes him think this guy's going to turn it around? We'll see from him. But no, he's been a bust at this point. No question about it.
No doubt about it. Hey, Max in Georgia, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Max?
Hey, gentlemen. Rob, Chris, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just think this is clear cut. Of course, I'm riding with Rob here. I mean, Baker is definitely, I wouldn't even call him baloney, but we'll call him that. I just think the guy came out the gate not humbled enough, kind of entitled, a little bit different, but very similar to Menzel. Obviously, same franchise. I look at the numbers from the other night, just obliterated. I think Shanahan and that offense are the truth. A side piece, I think they should trade Odell, get what they can from him. The offense isn't working. Baker and him aren't working. I think if it wasn't for Jarvis, he would have already been acting out by now. And I wouldn't blame him. The quarterback class that whole entire year was disappointing to me. I think Darnold's the only prospect, but I still don't see it with him. And lastly, I think Lincoln Riley has hoodwinked the NFL, similar to the way that Chip Kelly did, whereas the college system he has in place is amazing for the college system. Bring it to the NFL, it just doesn't work.
You know what, Max? Good take, because you don't always know if it's going to work. It worked for a little while with Chip Kelly till they caught up to him, Chris.
And the defenses in the Big 12 obviously are putrid.
What defense? Right. No doubt about it.
I mean, but right now, that's how it's playing out. I think Kyler Murray obviously is young. We'll see. And I'm not writing off Baker. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying he's running his mouth so much that his production is being high, or his lack of production is going to be highlighted.
Yeah, my only problem is the 56%. That bothers me. Something's wrong there. That should never be that low. Marty in Kentucky, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Marty?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
Doing great,
man.
Hey, we've talked about these Browns before season, and I told you guys they're not going to have a winning record. And the funny thing is, on the filet mignon of bologna, I'm not giving them bologna. I like bologna. I'm going to say Spam uncooked.
Spam.
Yeah, they're Spam uncooked, and they're going to have a losing record. But the funny thing is, the division is so bad. There was an injury and a terrible roughing the quarterback call in the Steelers-Ravens game that could have changed over this division right now, being tied with 3 losing teams at a 2-3 record. Nobody's good in this division. Nobody. And the Browns could actually win it at 7-9.
Right.
So even though they're bad, they probably will never fall out of the division race.
Okay,
no, I agree.
fair.
I mean, they've already beaten Baltimore. Baltimore looks bad. And Lamar Jackson, he's looking a little better than Baker, I guess, but a little. You know what I mean?
The only thing I like about
he's come back to
Baltimore
earth.
is that they do have a decent defense, and maybe they can win some games off that. We'll see.
They do, but they did give up 40
No,
to the Browns.
I saw it. It was not good. Dennis in Washington State, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up?
What's up, man? I appreciate you guys. Y'all got to do a pretty good show, and I'm just be honest with you. Baker Mayfield is overrated, and he's some baloney, man.
He's baloney.
Booger Mafardi kept saying last night he only read one receiver. So if you take his one read away, that's why he was terrible last night. He can't go to his second or third receivers. Booger Mafardi kept saying that over and over. You need to get in the film room and do some work. Stay out in them commercials. Then maybe he'll be all right, but I just think he's overrated.
No, he is overrated at this point. And Rex Ryan said it, and Baker, went back at him. But right now, he's very overrated.
Yeah, where's all that? Do you remember with Rex?
Right.
I know, not doing too much of that now. What about Gabrielle in New York? You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, so basically with Johnny Manziel, when he came into the league, I was heavy against him. Kind of tried to give Baker, the benefit of the doubt. He has a little bit of swag, that whole thing. Mm-hmm. And, I hated him when he was in college. He was one of those players that you don't want against you, but you love him when he's on your team. if you have those guys to throw to, like his IQ is so low from a quarterback standpoint, it can't, like I could throw better to those guys. Like it's just, the hype with the white quarterback, it's so real with him.
Well, no, there's no question. Here's the thing, Rob. We haven't seen a quarterback talk this much and be successful. Now, Jim McMahon won a Super Bowl, but Jim McMahon did not have a great individual career.
No.
That was their defense. That was like one of his few decent years, I can't think of another quarterback that's been that outspoken, brash, and bold and backed it up.
No, I agree. And again, when you do that nowadays, I think people are going for you, and it's just too much. And I think they're going to be in a bad spot for a while until he just pipes down and plays well, Chris. And then people will respect him and not be trying to go that hard at him. So there we are.